Hello YouTube. Welcome to this edition of This Old Barn. This barn is on the homestead I grew up on. And this property here was on the 1896 County Atlas. So who knows prior to that when this place was here and when this barn was built. And my dad painted it. I don't know why he painted it. I wish he would have just left it plain, but he did. Let me show you the back of the barn. He didn't paint the back of the barn. So that was the original color of the barn, just the plain wood. And it's just amazing how they built these barns back in the day. Door and the two big doors in the front, and then you got the two doors in the back with the track that slides open. And just amazing. And then the nails they used, some of them are like square nails in here, but just pretty cool. There's a door back here. I'm sure they would let the cows out from the back. Looks like the beams on the bottom. This is probably the worst part of the barn. It's kind of rotted out right there at the bottom, but the rest of the barn is in great shape. There's another door right here. So I'm thinking this may have went down for letting animals out. And but it still stands. And I found out it was a Kolb. Charles Kolb first lived here. Would love to know the story behind that. And then another family moved in it in the 1920s. And I got to meet some of that family and met one of the children, I think one of 12 children that were born in my house. And she recently passed away at 100 years old, 6 months and so many days. And she came down here before she died, and we walked this property. She was still walking and everything, and told me stories of growing up here. And she was born in 1922. And talked about the Great Depression and grew strawberries behind this barn, and they sold them during the Great Depression. And this sandstone building, she said they kept the pigs in. So that's, when I was growing up, we just called that the hog house, because that's where they kept the hogs. And then walking in the barn here, and this is where they kept the horses. And then there was some buggy sheds and some other buildings on the property that were later torn down. My dad tore them down to build the current garage, but yeah, it's just amazing how they built these barns. And look at the beams, still have bark still on them. The big beams, hand cut beams. And then look at this here. It's probably from the horse days. Still here. And then it has an upstairs. You can go up this ladder, and I guess that's where they kept the hay up there. And there's a door outside that they can, from the top, they can throw down the hay or load it in there. And then here, you can see how they made these, how they cut notches in and then put the beams in, held together with wooden pegs. And then here's where they kept the cows. Back here, concrete, it's notched right here. I don't know if that's where the cows relieved themselves in that. I don't know. And it just went right down the trough. And then these here are cow stanchions. And then these were supported in between these beams, and they would put the cow's head through here. This slides open, and then they would just latch it shut. So yeah, those are cow stanchions. Put the cow's head in that. But yeah, these barns, I just love old barns. And every barn is unique. And now growing up as a kid, we raised goats in here. And we had twin goats were born on Christmas Day. I'll post a picture of it. And I was just a little kid. And the local newspaper came and took pictures. And then here's another part of the barn. I got a lot of just scrap wood in here right now. But if you just look at these, how they built it. See that, how it's notched out in the wooden pegs? That's how they did it. That's how they built these old barns, man. Look at that, wooden peg, big beams, just a tree with the bark, you know? I would love to go back in time to watch them build it, you know? And then you can see the tool marks where they cut it. Look at that. All the way up. And then there's a rail system with pulleys way up top. I don't know if you can see it. And it goes all the way across the top of the barn. It's like a trolley, like a track. It goes all the way across. All the way. I don't know if that's how they moved hay or what, but it's pretty cool that they would have that system. Not the best camera work here, but just giving you an idea of these old barns, you know, and are all different sizes. You know, look at that. These barns will probably still be standing here after the modern ones are falling apart. And the wood way up on the ceiling looks just pristine, like it could have been put up yesterday, you know? In my understanding, that was one of the first things that they would build, was the barn when they got a piece of property, and put up the barn. And but yeah, just imagine this was somebody's livelihood back in the day. Horses. There was a chicken coop here. They raised chickens. There was what they call a granary, where they, I guess, stored grain and all that. And, but yeah, the history here, it's long gone. This old barn. And I restored the original water pump. I think I made a video on it. But yeah, Helen, who came down, she says, yep, that's the pump when we as kids got our water from. And so I was able to take this thing apart and completely restored it. Went down to the Amish country here in Ohio and talked to the Amish and got some information from them about these things. And truly amazing. Look at that. I got water. Backup emergency water. Yeah, a little discolored right now, but keep pumping, it'll clear out. And then I have a water purifier, and I can run this water through that thing, and I tested it, and it was safe to drink. But yep, so I've got water, and it's huge, huge down in here. Like a brick stone lined well is down in there. Just amazing. Then this house, that chimney is what is in the kitchen. The wood stove that they used to cook on, and that goes into the kitchen area. So that's where that chimney's from. Still there. And then back in the day, they had cisterns, and they would run the rainwater into the cistern. And this thing is huge. It's right in here. If I go up underneath the house, it's a big old, I could walk around in it. That's how big that big cistern is. And it held water, and then inside the kitchen, they had a pitcher pump. And that's how they had water. And then there was another, that cistern is connected to this one. I don't know if this was an overflow, but this one here, let's see if I can open it, that way you can see it. Yeah, see that? And it's got water in it, and you can see the stone, how it's lined in there. Check that out. That's the way they did it. And I can see that there's a pipe right there, and I'm just assuming it connects to the other cistern. So I've often wondered, what is the purpose of this? Or was this another well? I don't know. Yeah, look at the tool marks. I just now noticed that. From when they, because this is all sandstone. This is all sandstone here. But I like the old history. And I remodeled the house. It's truly remarkable. Inside the house, big old beams with bark still on them in the house. That's the way they built it. I mean, real rough cut, bigger than 2x4s in that house. And the wood was so hard that the drywall screws were snapping to put the drywall in because the wood was so hard. So they had to drill a hole first, then put the drywall screw in. That's how hard the wood was in the house. So my house is old, but I can tell you one thing. It's better built than some of these new houses. That's for dang sure. And it is solid. Solid sandstone, solid house, real freaking wood in that thing. And it used to have a slate roof on it, but then it started to leak, and my dad just put shingles on it. But there are still many houses here in the Ohio, where I'm at here in Ohio, that still have the slate roof on it. Just amazing. Still works. Oh, and I threw this climbing rope in here. Sometimes I'll come in here and climb rope. Just a little bit of army in me, so finish a run or whatever, work out, come in here and climb the rope, go up and down it a few times. Heck yeah, man. Slap the top, say Ranger, hit the Ranger tab up top. That's what we did. I was in the Ranger school. You have to climb the rope and hit the Ranger tab. That was up there, but anyway. Anyway, just wanted to share that a little bit of history, a little nostalgia, and corn growing across the street. Gonna be harvesting the corn pretty soon. Yeah, man. Rural Ohio. The ability to be able to grow your own food just might be something to think about in these times coming up. Just maybe I may have to start growing strawberries like Helen's family did back in the day. I hope not, but it may come to that. And so may have to plow some of this up if we have to and start growing, start planting, throw the chicken coop up. And if somebody else wanted to grow something, I'll tell you what, we'll block off some plots out here, give you some seed, and you can go ahead and plant. Not a problem with that. Tough times coming. And get back onto the barter system. We'll survive. Say we did have a complete depression, economic collapse, and so I ain't worried. They survived during the Great Depression. Potatoes, onions, shoot, they did it. You can grow potatoes, they grow in anything, and they're probably one of the most healthiest things you could eat. You could survive just on potatoes alone. People don't realize that. It's got everything that you need for your body. It really does. But yeah, nice and quiet, peaceful out here. But yeah, if we have a collapse, people working together, it's going to be it's going to be needed. Definitely going to be needed. But we'll see. Whatever happens, happens. I'm not worried about it. I'm a survivor. I could survive out in these woods. Heck yeah, man. Big thing is taking care of ourselves. Because it's coming. It's coming. It is coming. You can grow a lot of food right here. Look at this. It's all open. Yeah, there's trees over here, but this is all open. We can plow this right on up, man. Get a plot. Get your seeds. Potatoes, onions, carrots, peas, beans, radishes, onions, turnips. Heck yeah. Start storing them. We go old school, man. We can go old school, baby. Drop the nuclear bomb. Okay. We got water. We got backup. No electricity. Oh well. Get the lanterns out. Yep. having them skills and abilities. I think some people getting too comfortable. Anyway, a little trip around the property here. All the trees. But I don't own it. I own it, but you still got to pay property taxes on it. So do we really own it? The way I look at it, we just rent it, because you got to pay the property tax. Anyway, that was all. Just some random thoughts. Hope you enjoyed that. Shared a little something different. Anyway, take care. See you on the next one. Be safe out there. Listen to that.